Shalom. Call Limelight Yahweh Ba'Shem. Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And a sincere shalom to the 144,001 third. Now, as of recent, China has undergone, a military parade. And they showed off 47 brand new devices, that they're going to use when they get busy, when they go to war. Now let's go to Joel's third chapter, and in verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So the Most High Yahweh is going to stir up these nations, all right? Esau, Moab, Ammon, Elam, right? Ishmael. They're all going to get stirred up for this Third World War, which is primarily going to take place in Western Asia, all right? That region, where Palestine and Saudi Arabia and so on and so forth. That area. And Babylon the Great, the U.S. too. Verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords. And a plowshare is a instrument to manage crops. So they're gonna, when war mode is fully activated, these countries are gonna stop relying so much on agriculture and put more effort into making weapons. You had China win the overdrive with grains. They're hoarding a ton of grains. Why? Because grains fill you up. They can store long, and they can fill people up. They can keep bellies full. And your pruning hooks and the spears, let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be awakened and come into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So fair use. I'm going to play this video, some clips of China's military parade.
5mm gun. The vehicle is amphibious, based on the ZBL-8 baseline chassis, which was also shown. ZBL-8 is an amphibious infantry fighting vehicle, though seemingly it got new flotation devices. ZBL-8s have sometimes been seen in beach landing exercises. They are one of most produced fighting vehicles China fields. Then the PLL-9. It's a compact 122mm howitzer mounted on the ZBL-8 platform, providing indirect fire support to Chinese wheat.
And hey, when this comes to Babylon, these Babylonians, we've never seen anything like this. We haven't seen a war. The most Babylonians have seen is riots, some hooligans, robbing a store, maybe a school shooter or active, I don't know what the term is when someone just randomly shoots up a place. I think it's mass shooter, a mass shooting, school shooter, hooligans, riots. That's typically the peak terror that Babylonians face from weapons, from carnage. Of course, natural disasters are much worse, but nothing like these amphibious tanks where the tank can swim like a boat, then hit the ground and drive around. Then they got guns on them. Then they gonna have the drones coming out of these. Yeah, it's gonna get nasty. This is Job 20 and 24. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yeah, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Tears are upon him. So that's going into these missiles, specifically the ICBMs, these nuclear missiles being shot out of those silos, out of these trucks, out of these submarines, these boats, whatever other devices they use to launch them. And they're going to hit, Babylon the Great and Palestine and wipe those two places clean, All right, and of course, it's going to be a war, so other places will be damaged. But the two particular, all right, in prophecy is our land and Babylon the Great. So I'm going to skip through this video.
Its length and single stage, the HQ-9C missile doesn't seem to be optimized for anti-ballistic missile missions. HQ-19 was next. That's a dedicated anti-ballistic missile system known for a few years now. Its missiles are a bit larger than the US THAAD, perhaps closer to what THAAD ER proposal was. Basically, it seems designed against medium to intermediate range ballistic missiles. HQ-29 was also shown. This is the first time its missile containers have been clearly visible. The 29 forms the upper part of China's anti-ballistic missile defenses. Containers seem sized for missiles in between the US GBI and Russian S-500 missiles. Basically, the HQ-29 is likely to be used against both intermediate range and to very stealthy airframes. Most appear to be made for supersonic flight. Overall, 4 fighter jets were shown, with 1 more strike jet, making a total of 5 unmanned combat jets. But interestingly, during the parade preparations, a few more unmanned fighter jets were shown, but for...
And anybody that uses logic can clearly see how the Edomites, but particularly Western Edomites, are screwed. They're outgunned, outmanned. China's technology is equally, if not greater, overall capable than Babylon the Great. Russia's nuclear arsenal is far superior than Babylon the Great. All right? Even if all of Europe united against the East alongside Babylon the Great, they still are outmanned, outgunned, out-nuked, out everything. This is not going to end well for these Edomites, all right, and Western countries that align themselves with Esau. Let's get this. Proverbs 11:21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So everybody that aligns themselves with Esau is going to get cooked along with him. Let's get what is that? Isaiah the 9th chapter in verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. So 1,000 years ago, when our forefathers went to war, they had on leather, they had on armor, then they had a sword, a spear, a pike, a bow and arrow. They didn't have guns. Maybe they had a slingshot, bow and arrow. But for the most part, they had pointy sticks, all right? Being surrounded with other men with pointy sticks, elephants, war elephants, okay? Horses, war horses, all right? That's how war was fought for a good portion of humanity. But now, the Most High Yahweh has turned things up and given the heathen what? These engines, all right? Gunpowder to make bullets and all these other drones, fighter jets, tanks. Let's reread that. Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. That's right. These engines, these missiles. All right? Because this was established by Yahweh. This is just further proof that the Most High Yahweh is real. And that some people, and again, it has nothing to do with them. It's the Most High locking the truth from them. All right?
For some reason, they were not included in the final parade. All these drone fighters got to premiere at this parade. Their size ranges from 10 to 16 meters in length, and their widely different layouts obviously cover a wide array of missions and use cases. It's plausible that some, if not most of these, are still in the development phase, just like GJ-11 was back in 2019. Finally, the unmanned aircraft ended with the
They ready to rock and roll. They ready to rock and roll. And this, you see, the Babylon has never went to war with a country on their level. Babylon has never went to war with someone on their level before. Babylon has just smashed everybody that's significantly weaker than them. China they have a let me see if I can find it, a military power ranking. And it tells you which like they measure everything. They measure everything revolving around the military, and they rank which ones are stronger and weaker. It's called 2025 Military Strength Ranking. So, of course, this is before China came out with whatever they showed. So, number one is the U.S. So, lower is you can't see it, but I'm gonna read it. The lower the number is, the stronger the country is. So the U.S. is number one at 0.0744, and Russia and China are tied at 2 at 0.0788. So when you look at that, Russia and China both individually are almost equal to the U.S. And then number 4 is India at 0.1184. All right, and when you look at all these countries that are powerful, the top 10 strongest countries in the world, these countries are going to align themselves against Babylon the Great. France, the UK, all right, that's the beast right there. Burn her flesh with fire, roughly paraphrasing that. Turkey, that's Gomer, previously known as Turkey, as Gomer. They're going to align themselves with Russia. All right, so the majority of these countries on this list are going to go with Russia and China to take out the U.S. The U.S. is going to get jumped badly. Babylon the Great is about to get jumped badly, man. Because if the U.S. just one-on-one Russia, is going to be a disaster. If they one-on-one China, is going to be a disaster. Now imagine the U.S. having to deal with Russia and China. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's not going to be a close fight. This World War III is not going to be close. Let's go to Obadiah 1 and 7. Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Hold on. Give me a moment. All right. Verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Yeah, Russia is not really China too. They're not really, at odds with Babylon the Great. There's still commerce. I mean, yeah, the U.S. banned Russia from SWIFT, but there's no major clash, a butting of heads, if you will. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Yeah, China is pretty much, China still got their students coming here to learn at these Babylonian universities like Yale and Harvard. There's still commerce, heavy, strong commerce ties with China in America, right? But guess what? China is getting ready to attack this place when the time is right. And when once China is at odds against Babylon the Great, you best believe these resources that we're getting from China gone. These stores, Best Buy, and all these stores, electronics, furniture, all this is going to look real different. Let's get to that. Let's go to this is Psalm 60 and 8. Moab is my wash pot over Edom. Will I cast out my shoe? All right, I'm gonna stop right there. So the Most High Yahweh has used these Moabites with Edom consistently throughout history, even with Esau's rise to power with black powder. That came from Moab, man. That's a so-called Chinese creation that Esau used to fuel his blood-driven conquest. All right. So you Edomites have a rude awakening. Okay. So this is the video right here. If you want to watch the full thing, I'm gonna end that off right there. Otto Ratazal is edifying. Shalom.